It's time for altcoins. Really, if I look at the charts right now, it's saying one thing. Now is the last chance that we have. And I want to make it clickbaity, like you should now get in, but you should now get in. It's really the time. So let me take a look at what I'm looking at right here. Welcome to the Fomo Factory. Please like the video if you already like the video. Subscribe to the channel and let's get right into it. So first, if we do take a look at Bitcoin right now at the moment of recording, we're still pushing against all-time highs, $73,000. Sorry, let me do that again. $67,300, still a good amount. And we keep trying. Now, what I said a couple of videos ago is that, Bitcoin is now approaching the old all-time high. And it is a fact that if we do close this week around this level, then it is the highest weekly closure that we ever had. Because in the last bull markets, yes, we did win that high, but we didn't close right there. Right, we closed that week at $65,500, give or take. So we have a little room to go down and still make a new closure. But also, it's not necessarily common to just approach all-time highs and break it in the first attempt. If we do take a look at the last bull market and we draw a nice line over there, and we look at the bull market before that and we draw a similar nice line over that, look what happened. In the first in the bull market of 2013, we went to like $1,200, right? And here in 2017, when we tried to break it, we first got a huge rejection from there. Then we did break it, but we were kind of flirting with that level. And eventually we closed above it, retested it, and then went up. And this all happened in a matter of January until April. So this lasted 3 months before we broke it, really broke it. Now, in the last one, we didn't take 3 months though, but it took us a little more than one attempt. We got there, we got rejected in November 2020, and in December, so basically just 2 weeks later, we did break it, right? We first got a rejection, but we still closed pretty high. Then we had a week that looked a little bearish at first, but it turned out to be a big wick, and then we broke it. The similarities, though, is that once we broke this, we went up pretty hard because it's price discovery, right? There's no resistance anymore. Same thing over here. Once we broke it, there was not a lot of red candles, right? We first made a move of 150% before we saw the first red candle. Here we made a move of 100%, give or take, before we saw a first red candle, right? So if we do something similar and we break it eventually, whether it's like today, tomorrow, next week, in 3 months, we can see a pretty huge move. And it, like, if history is an indication, it's not unrealistic to blast right through 100K. Right? And that's usually where the altcoin market steps in, right? Because if you overlay the altcoin market on this Bitcoin chart, right? So we can overlay this one right here. That is not what I wanted to do. Let me go back to this chart right here. I suck. Good morning. Anyway, if we overlay the altcoin market over the Bitcoin chart, right, the orange line is the altcoin market. Then what do you notice? Once we really started to break all-time highs for Bitcoin, that's also where altcoins broke out. Altcoins were already doing very well, but the parabolic move started to happen when Bitcoin made a new all-time high. Right? If we take it to the bull market before that, you can also see altcoins, accumulation phase right here, big move up, still down, Bitcoin approaching all-time highs, altcoins going nicely with it, but not too crazy yet. Bitcoin broke the all-time high and altcoins really started to fly. Now, it is interesting, if you ask me, that even like altcoins, they made a new all-time high over here. Right? This was January 2021, while Bitcoin was making a new all-time high in December 2020. So altcoins are always running behind a little bit. So it looks very similar right now. right? And in many cases, it definitely is. But the big moves for the altcoins usually happens when Bitcoin makes new all-time high. Now, if we do take a look at the altcoin market at the moment, let me remove the overlay right here. If we do take a look at the altcoin market, what do we see? Well, what I notice here is that the altcoin market really wants to, right? It really wants to break out. If we look, we went into a major accumulation area since basically May 2022 until, well, February 2024. So for 2 years, altcoins didn't do much, right? It went down, it went up, it went down, it went up. A lot of altcoins died in the meantime. A lot of altcoins outperformed in the meantime, for sure. Overall, we went pretty sideways. And now that Bitcoin is already sitting at all-time highs, altcoins are starting to break out. But we still have a move of 52% to go before altcoins are sitting at the all-time high, right? Well, Bitcoin is actually already there. So in my opinion, that makes it that Bitcoin is not really worth it for me anymore to buy right now. And I heard some people say like, yeah, but you know, BlackRock is buying Bitcoin and they're not going to trade their Bitcoin for Shiba or whatever, right? Of course not. Of course, that's not what's going to happen. So will we get the similar rotation? Bitcoin to Ethereum to high caps to alt season? I still think we do. Because if we do take a look at what happened at for Bitcoin right here, this is where we got the ETF. We got that 20% dip over here, which lasted very shortly, by the way. People sold the news basically, and then it turned out like, yeah, okay, but stupid because BlackRock just goes on the buying streak, right? So this move right here is not only, but a lot of BlackRock money and other ETFs, definitely. But this move, this is us, right? Now, the retail, the grandfathers, the neighbors, the haircutters, how do you call it, barbers, right? The people that you usually hear talk about crypto in a top of a bull market, it's not really here yet, right? So we still have our usual retail move to come, right? And we are already sitting at all-time highs. So that indicates to me that Bitcoin is likely going to wreck a lot of people in the sense that, you know, maybe a lot of people think like, yeah, it's just going to 100K because that's a psychological level, right? And that's it. And these people might sell then, and these are the people that get wrecked because Bitcoin will do way more than that. Because again, we always had bull markets without BlackRocks, right? And that retail that came in pushed Bitcoin at a minimum of an 18x from bottom to top. A minimum of 18x. That was the worst the worst bull market ever. Bitcoin is now sitting at a 4x. I'm not saying we will do an 18x, but there's a big gap right there, right? So if all this retail steps in, then the sky is the limit. And then we will really see the fun happen, actually. And altcoins are going to profit a lot from that because the people that bought here, they are going to convert their Bitcoin into altcoins. And that's a lot of money that's already there, right? I can show you. At the moment, there's $1.3 trillion in Bitcoin. Okay, so you might think like, yeah, some altcoins can only do a 5x. But this is a lot of money, right? $1.3 trillion. Like BNB is like 1/20th of that, right? $70 billion market cap. But then we go to Bitcoin Cash or whatever for crap, right? That's one out of 200 of Bitcoin. If we go to coins with a market cap of 800 million, that's 1 out of 2,000, right? What do I mean by that? If just like if 0.1% of Bitcoin goes into, for example, Ronin, it already doubles, right? 0.1% of the current market cap, not even the market cap that Bitcoin is going to be, right? So let alone the coins with like an $80 million market cap, and there are a lot of good quality coins with an $80 million market cap. 0.01% of Bitcoin. Wow. Like, it doesn't take much to pump these coins like crazy. Right, so you might have seen, for example, Superverse, right? You may be like, wow, this coin is mooning and it's going absolutely fantastic, right? It was sitting at a $30 million market cap, give or take. It's now 680. Can it go up even further? Yes. A 10x? Like, I'm not saying it will happen with this specific coin, but the money is there. The money is there for sure. Plus, there's still a lot of money that's in stables. Like, if you look at Tether, that's just one stable, right? But it's the biggest. There's $100 billion sitting in Tether, right? This dominates 4% of the entire crypto market. Now, it doesn't look and sound like a lot, just 4%. But dude, 4% of $2.5 trillion. So if people start to put some Tether now into not Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is already sitting at all-time highs, right? And how much is there to gain? So let's go to altcoins. So they put it into some low-cap altcoins, or not even low-cap. These could fly. These could fly. And if I look at Tether, what's so interesting about this is the Tether, the USDT dominance, right? So it was in this upwards trend right here, basically since 2021 already, right? So every time it got down here, people felt like, okay, let's put some crypto into USDT again. So it went up, and here they felt like, okay, let's put my USDT back into crypto. It went down, but overall it went up, and now it is breaking this trend line very clearly, right? We want to see a weekly closure below it though. Otherwise, it's just a wick, and we still have a couple of days to go this week. So I don't want to jump to, too quick to conclusions. But it does indicate like, wow, people are now deploying their money into the crypto market that they already had in stables. Still, this is not the retail that just have money on the bank account that heard about Bitcoin. No, they are not there yet. And maybe if you're familiar with the channel, you know about it, but there are charts for that. This is from Into the Cryptoverse by Benjamin Cohen. This is a very beautiful platform, a lot of interesting charts right here. But the red line is the social metrics, the YouTube subscribers, viewers, Twitter followers, etc. And although it just made a new high, for sure. So some retail is now stepping in. And that's funny, right? Every time Bitcoin, breaks its all-time high, we had the all-time high here, we were breaking it here. And look, retail all of a sudden interested, right? You guys are too late. You should have been here, right? We were there, luckily. So shout out to you. But now people are starting to get in a little bit again. But overall, this is still quite low compared to where we came from, right? It's sitting at 0.35. And in the bull market here, we were sitting at 0.85. Here, we were sitting at, 1 basically. So there's still a lot of people to join crypto. Now, you can also use Google Trends for it and just search crypto, Bitcoin, altcoins, NFTs, whatever. You see that the interest is not where it was over here. You can also, of course, just open your ears on the streets and look like, are some old friends calling you like, hey, how's that Bitcoin doing? I heard you're doing pretty well. I mean, sorry for not contacting you earlier. We were always close friends, but you know how it goes. Fuck off, right? But these are the metrics that you can actually use to feel like, hey, is Bitcoin already somewhere near the top? No, definitely not. It's definitely not near the top. It doesn't mean we cannot get a brutal correction in the meantime. Of course, that will probably happen 3-4 times this bull market. But the overall top for Bitcoin is nowhere to be found yet. And that also has something to do with timing. We're just in a 4-year cycle, right? And the 4-year cycle is saying like, hey guys, usually, always we top and 2013 and 2017 and 2021. So if this is an indicator, then end of 2025. And even for the people that say like, yeah, well, the cycle is different because it moves faster. Yeah, that the money is coming in faster right now doesn't mean that it has to stop faster as well. And even if it does, we still have a lot of room between now and the end of 2025. So let's say it's now September 2025, right? Q3. Yeah. Even then, we still have 1.5 years to go of bull market, right? So selling now, I mean, take profits on the way. Definitely. Like, of course, you take profits on the way, right? But selling now, I would not recommend it really. So what I'm doing is, I mean, this video is about altcoins. Well, it's more of a general market explanation. But if you understand this, then you maybe also know why altcoins have a very bullish moment to go, right? And my strategy is, I, for example, have a moonshot portfolio, and the people in the Patreon, they know there's a link down below if you want to join it. And I made a video not too long ago, 2 months ago, about a coin, and I said, guys, I can't see the future or anything, but there is a coin, gaming combined with AI, right? What are the two biggest narratives? Gaming and AI, right? Plus, it's low cap. People are looking for low cap stuff. This play is way too obvious. I'm in, okay? And this coin did fantastic. This is Neuros. This thing did absolutely crazy over the last couple of days. It went from, we bought it at 2 cents, 2.5, right? At least I bought, let me put it like that. I bought it right there and I mentioned it right there. 2.5 cents. It went all the way up to 20 cents right now. Did it 10x, right? And even though it's still low cap and it could go way higher, if you pull off a 10x, take at least your initial out, right? Maybe even some profits and put it into something else, right? So that's how you play the market. That's how I play the market. I'm in a big win on this one, right? So I have a lot of free money right now that I can feel like, okay, I can do whatever I want with it. And that's how you play it. You can save it for a correction. If you feel like there's no correction coming for some reason, put it into something else. Right? That's how you can play it. Now, also interesting when it comes to altcoins, if we look at what Bitcoin is doing on the daily, right? Look at the daily for Bitcoin. We had one red candle, but it basically, like if you compare this candle to this candle, the red candle wasn't even there, right? So Bitcoin basically only going up the last couple of days. If you look at the Bitcoin dominance, only going down the last couple of days. Now, this is, again, on a micro scale, what we call an alt season, right? Where Bitcoin goes up, but the Bitcoin dominance goes down, because it means that altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin, even if Bitcoin is going up. That's what we want. Now, this is mainly because of Ethereum, because Ethereum on its Bitcoin pair has been going up in the last couple of days, and Ethereum takes a big chunk of that part, of course, because the market cap is super high. But still, some altcoins are outperforming like crazy. This is Delesium. Delesium is, I spoke about it here before they came out. They had their node sale, and the people that got their nodes should be very happy right now, get a great passive income. But even the performance of Delesium, if you bought it on the open market, it is incredible. It just did a 31x, right? Some altcoins are definitely outperforming Bitcoin, right? But Delesium is just $100 million market cap, right? And it sounds like a lot, but compared to Bitcoin, it's nothing. Nothing. So this doesn't contribute to the Bitcoin dominance whatsoever, right? So even though the Bitcoin dominance on a macro scale is still in an uptrend, some coins are outperforming Bitcoin like crazy. Most are not yet, right? I mean, that's what we see right here. We saw the Bitcoin dominance go up, so altcoins on the Bitcoin pair went down, and now it's going sideways. But it is interesting, right? The Bitcoin dominance is sitting at the same level as where it was in October 2023. Where was Bitcoin in October 2023? Was sitting here at 30K. Bitcoin doubled, but the dominance did nothing, right? So if the dominance is not going up with this move of Bitcoin, then I do feel like, okay, the Bitcoin season is over. Altcoin season hasn't started yet. It's now kind of nothing season. What the fuck? Okay, nice. Just saw this. Like, what? BNB. Oh, that's beautiful. I hope you learned a lesson in the last bear market. Buy the fear, right? It still applies for me as well, because I caught myself being a little scared sometimes of how some things look like. But I don't know if you remember the bear market, if you were there. Most people were. People were freaking out over BNB, right? Binance collapsing, BNB is going to zero. Capo was right. Capo got liquidated, bruh. This is like, therefore, every time, like, look, BNB, one of the most high cap coins with most FUD, it did a 2.5x, right? It bounced perfectly off of the low range, basically. Had a little resistance over here and it blasted right through. Perfect retest, by the way, on this wick. And it blasted right through. So that shows that you want to buy the fear. In a bear market, you want to buy when it feels very bad to buy, right? People were shitting themselves right here and here. Because if it broke, yeah, I made a prediction as well. If it breaks, we could see way low prices. But it's just a simple fact that it didn't break, right? And now it's mooning. And you want to have some balls of steel to say like, yeah, you know what? There's a lot of fear. I'm buying there. So buy when it feels like a very bad time to buy, when it feels uncomfortable. But now, like, these times are past, right? That's for the next bear market. But it also goes for the bull market. Sell when it feels uncomfortable, right? If you feel like, whoa, like let's say that BNB does like whatever for coin, right? But in this case, BNB, let's say it does something like this. The timeline doesn't make sense at all. Doesn't matter. And then this is the resistance area. You could look at the same thing, but the other way around, right? Like, wow, if it breaks up, sell. But it might do this. You might want to sell here, even though it feels very bad to sell. Everything is mooning in the bull market. We will see prices that make you feel like this thing did a 10x. How the fuck? Then this will do a 10x as well. And that, and there, and there. I'm not selling now. That's the moment if you really honestly feel like I don't want to sell, apart from what other people say, you might want to consider selling, right? And not everything, if it like that's always a bad idea. But do it. It works. If you have a certain emotion in crypto, that's fine. It's hard to turn them off. Just do the opposite then, right? It makes you feel very uncomfortable. But again, it made people feel very uncomfortable buying this right here. Now, it doesn't always work. Some coins just do this. That's the risk you are taking, right? Now, if we do take a look at some altcoins, for example, altcoins on the Bitcoin pair like Matic, right? Matic has kind of the same chart right here. As you see, this looks like the BNB chart, right? Consolidating right here. If it breaks, we're fucked. But what if it pulls off a BNB right here? I'm not saying it will, but this is exactly that kind of chart, right? So consider that. Now, again, like I said, altcoins are doing well. Beam, mooning, right? Although 0.618 giving some resistance right now, maybe take some profits, whatever. But altcoins are doing super well. Solana made a new high, right? Crazy. How long will that keep on going? I don't know, man. Like when we get that new all-time high for Bitcoin and we get an alt season, then we could see Solana just do this, right? Well, not maybe that high, but you know what I mean, right? It could go crazy, right? And you now want to look at altcoins like, okay, which ones are preparing for that next leg? I don't know, man. It looks like, you know, Avalanche, for example. You could look at it like we just did this. We're cooling off and we are ready for the next leg. You could also look like, okay, we were at the bottom. We were at the bottom. Big move up. Big move up. Sideways in resistance area. Sideways in resistance area. Big crash. Big crash? Maybe. I don't know. If it happens, therefore, save some money in case this kind of stuff happens. Because, hey, it is crypto. This stuff happens a lot. Like, a lot. And you would say, no, that's not going to happen. Exactly. That's why it happens, because you do not expect it. Have some money and balls. That's all you need to have. Well, money, balls, and patience. If you have money, balls, and patience, then you're going to make it in crypto. Very simple. Especially balls and patience. The money will come then. So some of these coins are not really there yet. They didn't pull off a Solana, for example, yet. Avalanche could pull off a Solana. Focal Forge is now, it's doing it, man. It touched $10.50. It's quite beautiful. Focal Forge been talking about this for quite a while, right? It's been ranging over here, and it finally broke out. And maybe this is the next range. But it already showed like, hey, we want to break out here. Be careful. Don't get left behind. Right? Don't get left behind right there. So, yeah, what do we need to say? It's more dangerous not to have a position than to have a position. Can you lose 50% in the meantime if you have a position? Yeah. But if you have a long-term conviction for the market and you're planning to play this for a couple of months or years, then does it really matter what happens next week, right? As long as you do not panic sell if something goes down in the meantime, you should be good, right? You should be good. Ronin or IMX is a project that I feel like, man, I have a good position. I make money with it. I took profits on it, so can't lose with it. But I wish I had a little more. These kind of scenarios, if you do have a position, but it doesn't feel like enough, then the hardest thing to do, but you should practice patience, right? If it goes up, whatever, you're riding your current bag and you make money with it, there will be other opportunities, right? However, if it does go down, you can buy more, right? The thing that I wouldn't prefer is just buying here in case I miss out. That's FOMO, right? You don't want that. We call it Fomo Factory, but you can have FOMO in the right way. I have some fear of missing out, right? Definitely. But I'm placing my positions right, so I don't get wrecked. So it doesn't matter. The emotions, if they're there, they're there. What you do with them is the most important. So with this thing, for example, I'm just waiting. Again, if it does go down, I'm gonna buy. If it just goes up, nice, I'm gonna ride my back and I'll buy something else. There are more good projects in the market. Don't marry this, right? I still think that Chainlink has a very good way to go, right? Like we it's kind of the Focal Forge structure, really. If you remember that chart, right? We look at Focal Forge. It's here. We were ranging above, ranging, and we seem to do a little breakout right now. If we look at Chainlink, it's kind of the same. Ranging, broke, new range, but we broke above that. Looks like we now make a new range. Very simple, right? You can draw the lines right there, and it lines up pretty well, right? Range 1, range 2, range 3, maybe break up range 4. That's the best way to go. I'd rather see that than just this, because then I'm too scared of this as well. And you don't want that. A little bit about new projects. Fuck, right? They're doing so great, man. It's absolutely fantastic what's happening in the market right now. If we look at DexCheck, for example, we were in the, at least I was in the pre-sale over here. And in the private sale was even way lower. Look where it is, man. Look where it is. More than a 16x or whatsoever. Chappie still holding up very well. Ether Games just came out. Did a from 2 cents to 22 right now. So it did an 11x. Yeah, and I can point them all out. But, the message is, you want to have exposure to new projects, right? Because they just have way less selling pressure, way less. They're more innovative pieces of technology as well. They go with the current hype, right? They're so much more positive about new projects. So look at it, man. Look at it. Hypercycle is a project that I went in on pretty crazy I invested like 10K or something in this thing. And if you look at what Hypercycle is doing, every time it goes up, it goes down, people freak out. They sell. No, don't do that. Buy, right? It goes up. People are euphoric. It goes down from $1, like all the way to 50 cents. People freak out. They sell. No, buy, right? It goes up again. It's back at that dollar almost. It's beautiful. I'm not saying you should buy this because, in all honesty, I'm dumping this thing daily. Why? I made a fucking 100K off this thing. Of course I'm dumping this. Of course. But that's the thing. If you are in pre-sales or are at least early, you can do the same thing. This is a passive income right here. Right? I'm earning, like, I don't know, $150 a day with this. Hey, that's a salary, right? For a lot of people. So I'm fine. I'm totally fine. And then there's this whole list. And if you participate, like a little bit of money there, a little bit of money there, you get a compounding passive income from all places. And you always have money to buy if there's a good correction in the market, or put it into new pre-sales or whatever. Right? But it is time for altcoins right now. It's simply time. Again, Bitcoin made a new all-time high. Altcoins didn't. They still have more than 50% to go before they even get there, let alone price discovery. That's crazy. That's alt season, right? If that happens. Last time it broke the all-time high, it went up another 6x. And that's the top 125, right? Let alone everything outside of the top 125. Hey, that can do a 60x. It's just what happens. Here as well. Well, we don't have a lot of history here. But it made a new high, right? Over here. And once it broke, even only in this move right here, it did a 3.5x. Cooled off because, of course, it's way too fast. And then, boop! I don't have a technical explanation other than boop! It's crazy. It's absolutely beautiful. But no matter how bullish the market looks for now, don't get dragged into it, okay? Again, if the market can go up that hard, it can also go down that hard. And I can also, come up with 100 narratives why the market is not going down this time that hard, that much. But still, it is crypto. Crypto is an unpredictable piece of shit, okay? So therefore, I would say, if you do, let me put it like that, otherwise it does sound like financial advice. If I make a 2-3x somewhere, I'm going to take my initial out, man, right? Will I, miss out with a little bit then if it goes up even further? Yes, but that's my risk-reward tolerance, right? Because I'm in crypto to make money, so I at least first want to secure that I don't lose money. That's most important, right? Because we can get very dragged into the market and very euphoric and be like, yeah, we're going to make it. But what if whatever, right? What if whatever? I don't want to lose. So I want to leave it right here. If you want to trade these altcoins, there is a Bybit link down below. If you sign up right there, deposit at least $100 and trade, you can get a free Patreon tier, the highest tier, lifetime. That's $250 a month. For a lifetime, that's, well, depending on how long you live. But that's a lot. So all you have to do is just buy altcoins on sell it or whatever on Bybit, right? That's what we do anyway. But now you can get something extra for it in return. I want to leave it there, guys. Winner, by the way, of the last giveaway, which we should not forget. I asked about what do you think the all-time high for Bitcoin is going to be? And it's not that I say like, yes, you have the correct answer, because we don't know, I don't know. But the answer that I do agree on, I believe Bitcoin will top out in 2025 between 200 and 300K based on the previous cycles and returns. This will be the most realistic price target based on the data we have. And yeah, the data we have is all we can use. So I would say, I would go with something like that as well. So Strive, congratulations. Send me an email with proof that that's your YouTube account. My email is in the description. you get $100 of USDT. So if you put it in Bitcoin, you can still make a nice 6x with it. So that's a $600 giveaway. Here we are. Well, 5x, sorry. $500. Yes. And I see a lot of interesting other comments as well about it. Some people say like 1 million. Some people only say 100K. Hey, at the end of the day, we don't know what's going to happen, of course. But let's just make sure that whatever the fuck is happening, we make money off of it and we keep our money, okay? So this year, I'm going to be bullish. This year, I'm going to be talking about altcoins. I'm going to talk about more specific altcoins. I didn't do that in the bear market because I don't want to risk my audience to lose money to talk about altcoins when it's not really time for it yet. Now, it is time. It's time for a while already. So let's talk about that. And in 2025, well, we'll be talking about taking profits. And maybe a little too soon, but rather too soon than too late, right? Let's keep our hard-earned money as well. Guys, thanks for watching. Please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn the bell notification on. I'll be back tomorrow.